Today, we want to talk about, or rather cry out, about a European city. A city that has been occupied since 1974, forgotten by the civilized world, wronged by international organizations. Our city, our home, our history and civilization. A city that was built by Greeks, Praxandros and Kypheas in 1400 BC, on the most beautiful part of the island of Cyprus, the island on which the goddess of beauty chose to be born, the goddess of antiquity, Aphrodite. Prosperous, with a mild climate and a magnificent sea, neighboring and distant peoples fought and still fight to conquer it.
Και βλέπουμε την Κερίνια να αναπτύσσεται από τους ιστορικούς χρόνους. Έχουμε μια διαχρονική παρουσία στην περιοχή της Κερίνιας από τους νεολιθικούς χρόνους.
For tens of thousands of years, many conquerors have passed through. Assyrians, Egyptians, Persians, Phoenicians. They come, they conquer, they pillage, they leave. Yet, Hellenism took root in the city, on the island. The Greek language was established. Those years were hard for the local inhabitants. In 1878 came the turn of Great Britain. The people of Kyrenia hoped for a more just behavior. Till when? Christians and Muslims want peace. They cooperate among each other, marriages are carried out between the two communities, they live in the same neighborhoods, they live like brothers, they create together, they rejoice in life together, they hope. However, the British stance of divide and rule and the constant threat by Turkey leads the majority of the island's population, the Greek Cypriots, to revolt. The Greeks compromise. They show goodwill. They grant authority to the Turks and the Cyprus Republic is established. Kyrenia becomes a favorite destination for locals and foreigners. The sea, the sun, the unbelievable beauty of the entire area, the hospitality of the Kyrenia people on the one hand, and the historic monuments left by the previous conquerors on the other, gave reason for Kyrenia to be called the most beautiful diamond of the island. An unprecedented development begins.
Κάτω στο λιμάνι υπήρχαν και τουρκοκύπριοι ψαράδες. Στην Πάνω Κερίνια ήταν οι Κερινιώτες, οι Τουρκοκύπριοι, μαζί με Ελληνοκυπρίους και υπήρχε ένας αμοιβαίος σεβασμός μεταξύ των Τουρκοκυπρίων και Ελληνοκυπρίων.
The city, the tourism, the culture and the arts thrive. Turkey, however, begins to enforce its plans to occupy the entire island, as noted since 1956 by the Turkish politician and constitutionalist Nihat Erim, in memoranda towards the Turkish government. Turkey wants to take over the entire island. Since 1960, it prepares the dissolution for the Cyprus Republic and secretly channels weapons to Turkish Cypriot extremists. In 1963, under various pretexts, Turkey abets the uprising of the Turkish Cypriots against the constitution and the legal order and bombs northern areas of Cyprus. During the same period, under the guidance of Ankara, Turkish Cypriots withdraw from their office in the Cyprus Republic and create an autonomous Turkish Cypriot administration. A few years later, the United States Secretary of State at the time, Henry Kissinger, plots a well-crafted plan with the cooperation of Turkey and the Greek junta for a coup d'etat in Cyprus and the immediate invasion of Turkish troops on the shores of Cyprus. Within just 100 hours following the outbreak of the coup d'etat, the Turkish Navy and Air Force were already prepared and realized the second part of the plan. In July of 1974, Turkey illegally invades Cyprus, violating its territorial integrity and the sovereignty of the Cyprus Republic, a member of the United Nations, contrary to basic provisions of the UN Charter and even the Guarantor Treaty that Turkey itself signed in 1960. The powerful of the world watch from afar. Till when? Turkey's first target was a city closest to it, Kyrenia. An invasion of 40,000 Turkish soldiers with arms from the USA and European countries. Arms that are supposed to be used for defense, not for invading small and powerless states. But the worst happened during the ceasefire, in violation of every international agreement. They murdered 6,000 people in a month. They raped our children, our sisters, our mothers. They broke into and pillaged our property. They loaded it aboard ships and took it to Turkey.
Turkey's illegal 1974 invasion of Cyprus and its ongoing occupation and violation of Cyprus's sovereignty remain a terrible tragedy. Not only were thousands killed during the Turkish invasion, but more than 150,000 Greek Cypriots were driven from their ancestral homes and have not been able to return.
Soldiers, unarmed civilians, children, young people are transported to prisons in Turkey. 1,619 missing, the bones of many of which were discovered in mass graves with clear marks of torture on the bones and a bullet hole in the skull. War crimes in violation of international agreements for prisoners of war. And all of this while we wait for a reaction from the planet's powerful nations. Till when?
Today, the island of Cyprus remains divided, and peace remains elusive. And simply put, this situation persists because of Turkey. The Turkish government has meddled in the peace process and imposed its own absurd parameters on the negotiations, denying the people of Cyprus the benefits of a durable peace. However, Turkey has not been content with just impeding the prospects for peace on Cyprus. We have watched with horror as Turkey has attempted to rewrite thousands of years of history by erasing the Hellenic heritage of places like Kyrenia.
Η Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία, ως μέλος του Συμβουλίου της Ευρώπης, κατέφυγε στην Επιτροπή Ανθρωπίνων Δικαιωμάτων του Συμβουλίου της Ευρώπης, αφού μέλος αυτού του Συμβουλίου ήταν και η ίδια η Τουρκία. Έκαμε 3 προσφυγές ενώπιον της Επιτροπής. Και στις 3 αυτές πρώτες προσφυγές κρίθηκε ότι η Τουρκία παραβίασε πολλά ανθρώπινα δικαιώματα. Στην Κύπρο, με τη στρατιωτική εισβολή, των εκτοπισμών, συνέχεια την μεταχείριση των εγκλωβισμένων και βεβαίως την καταπάτηση της δυνατότητας ελεύθερης διακίνησης και εγκατάστασης.
The majority of people from Kyrenia who stay behind are enclaved and transferred to the Dome Hotel, where the Turkish invaders force them to gradually flee with the remaining Greek inhabitants of the remaining district.
Τον Αύγουστο λοιπόν του 1975 συμφωνήθηκε στην Βιέννη η λεγόμενη Τρίτη Βιέννη, η οποία αφορούσε ανάληψη συγκεκριμένων υποχρεώσεων κατά το δίκαιο το οποίο ίσχυε, το δίκαιο της Γενέβης για τους αμάχους, το δίκαιο του πολέμου που ανέλαβε η Τουρκία έναντι των Κυπρίων που βρίσκονται στις κατεχόμενες περιοχές, αλλά και των Τουρκοκυπρίων που μετακινήθηκαν από τις ελεύθερες περιοχές στην τουρκοκρατούμενη υποκατοχή περιοχή. Αυτή η συμφωνία ήταν μια από τις επιβεβαίωση από την τακτική που ακολουθούσε η Τουρκία στο να υπόσχεται και να συμφωνεί μεν, αλλά να μην εφαρμόζει ποτέ τα υποσχεθέντα.
I truly believe that we need to reach a comprehensive settlement of the Cyprus problem that must be in line with the values and the principles on which our union is founded. The EU must remain fully committed in bringing negotiations under UN auspices to a successful conclusion. Rule of law and the respect for human rights that applies to any EU member state must also apply to all of Cyprus.
But these condemning verdicts were never acted upon. Along with 200,000 Greek Cypriots, we also leave Kyrenia abandoning our homes and property for only a few days. But we are never to return. We live with the hope of a swift return, in camps, while in tents, and later on refugee settlements built with foreign aid. An agreement is reached under the supervision of the UN during a third round of talks in Vienna, where Turkey approves and signs that the legal Greek Cypriot inhabitants enclaved in the occupied territory remain under conditions of safety with all necessary facilities for the continuation of their normal lives. Turkey continued the ethnic cleansing policy, persisting to commit crimes against them, which resulted in them being driven out. Turkey neither respects international law nor the agreements that it signs. Till when will the powerful of the world remain unmoved?
Όλα εκείνα τα οποία συμφωνήθηκαν και ήταν συγκεκριμένα δεν τηρήθηκαν και ως εκ τούτου παραμένει εκτεθειμένη και για αυτόν τον λόγο απλώς διότι η σκοπή της ήταν συγκεκριμένη. Επεδίωκεν πάντα την επικυριαρχία στην Κύπρο.
Houses, churches, public buildings and schools are looted and systematically destroyed. Until this day, we see our own houses, our own property that we inherited from our parents, and that belong to our children and grandchildren being occupied by Turkish Cypriots and Turkish settlers, contrary to the numerous resolutions of the UN Security Council and the General Assembly. We have reached the point where the illegal usurpers of our properties are being called users, demanding rights at the expense of the legal Kyrenia owners. The agreement of the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949 regarding civilian persons in time of war prohibits the transfer by the occupying power of its own population to the territory-occupied states, that the occupying power is prohibited to deport or transfer part of its own unarmed civilians to the territory it occupies. Would civilized countries accept something equivalent happening to their homes, properties and cities?
Προχώρησε το δικαστήριο και επιδίκασε αποζημιώσεις για τη μη χρήση της περιουσίας, χωρίς να χάνω τους τίτλους της περιουσίας μου. Εκκρεμεί στην Επιτροπή Υπουργών το θέμα της απόδοσης της περιουσίας και της ειρηνικής χρήσης.
And yes, we worry when it is proven every day that Turkey's aim is the Turkification of the occupied territories in an effort to eradicate everything that suggests the thousands of years of Greek civilization, as well as everything Christian, in violation of international conventions by UNESCO and The Hague. It changed the street names, the names of towns, villages, and place names and replaced them with Turkish ones. It desecrated, destroyed, and left Orthodox churches, chapels, and monasteries to the mercy of time. It turned 82 Christian churches into mosques. It built new mosques. It robbed and sold priceless treasures of our cultural heritage. An ancient ship of the 3rd and 4th century BC that was lifted from the sea and stored in the ancient fortress of the city is illegally withheld from its restoration, care, and control program of the Department of Antiquities of the Cyprus Republic. It remains hostage to Turkey. As one of the rarest monuments of world civilization, it is in danger of ruin. It destroys rare environmental beauty of our occupied territories. A characteristic example is the eating away of the Pentadactylos mountain range with its geological wealth by quarrying. When will our otherwise sensitive European partners in the EU speak?
We need a solution that complies with the EU acquis and safeguards the integrity and the decision-making responsibilities and processes of the EU. Such an agreement could only be reached without any foreign troops on the ground. Therefore, we urge Turkey to begin withdrawing its troops. Only in this way we can ensure that all Cypriots enjoy their rights of free movement, their home and legitimate property like all other European citizens, without any discrimination. Beautiful Kyrenia, with its history, nature and culture, is part of the EU, and the EU cannot accept anything less than that.
Kyrenia has become unrecognizable. It has been filled with luxury villas, hotel complexes, all built on the properties of Greek Cypriot people of Kyrenia, altering the character of our small, romantic seaside city.
Turkey cannot and will not succeed in this attempted revision of Cyprus's history. We must tell the truth of Kyrenia's Hellenic heritage and counteract Turkey's false narratives, and I am grateful to all of those who are leading this important effort. I look forward to the day when Kyrenia's Greek Cypriot residents can return home, and I can come and visit this beautiful Hellenic city.
Our faith in what is lawful is tried when we see the hypocritical stance as Turkey interprets the law as it sees fit in illegal activities such as the illegal declaration of a separate state and implementation of a constitution and other illegal institutions in the illegal regime, the execution of illegal electoral procedures, and the continuous attempt of the illegal state to be internationally recognized, the continuous colonization which results in the Turkish Cypriots becoming a minority among the Turkish settlers. They illicitly sail in our seas in our exclusive economic zone, claiming our natural wealth. This mockery towards small and powerless countries must stop. The theoretic reactions to the slaughtering and the genocides and the ethnic cleansing of the Armenians, the Greeks, and the Kurds have no effect on Turkey. If we accept these unjust and undemocratic arrangements, Turkey's demands will not stop here. They will persist to claim the entire island of Cyprus, the Aegean, Greece, and the Balkans up to Vienna. Turkey has done this before. We have been through it before. We, the people of Kyrenia, will never agree to the illegal military occupation of our city by Turkey. We owe it to the 3,500 years of our history and our civilization. We ask from our European and American partners to work for the principles and resolutions of the UN with regards to the enormous crime against the defenseless people of Cyprus, both Greek and Turkish Cypriots. The Turkish military control of the occupied territory of Cyprus alters the cultural character of the island, which results in the Turkish Cypriots becoming a minority even there. The Cyprus problem is not a problem between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. Neither is it a religious one. It is a problem if an illegal invasion and occupation of a European country.